Oh, okay, fuckers and fuckettes. And let's give a shout out today to those who are terminally fucked. You know, I don't know half y'all. Well, alright, I know the other half y'all. Anyway, what we're doing today is, this is just a way, if you have to have your tank off and you're balancing a set of carbs, or you're setting your mixtures or whatever, so you have to have the tank off and you can't turn it backwards because the fucker will be in the way or it'll shake off the bike, whatever. Some guys will use a turkey baster. Now I want you to notice I'm pouring out of one of my other bottles that I also use. You can use an old gear oil bottle. You can use an old Lucas bottle. Just make sure you clean it out before you go putting your test gas in there. Now, my gas is a little bit red here. What I've got is 2.5 ounces of Marvel Mystery Oil to a quart of 93 octane and 4 ounces of STP cheap ass shit yellow can octane booster. Now my reason for this is that VT1100 that the guy had gas washed everything inside his engine. The valves need a little bit of cleaning. If you're using this mix, do not, repeat, do not, don't set your idle until you get the bitch on clean gas. Let's put it that way. Because it ain't going to happen. And I did start it the first time on fresh gas to get it warm enough to where I can run this mix. Because it is a little bit strong on the Marvel. It would be a really hard start any other way. Now, another thing that I should mention is batteries. See it right there? That stock battery? Oops. Let's get some focus on that. Well, that fucker there ain't worth the shit. So what I've done is I've got my hot tied together and I've got my ground tied together. My hot can't touch nothing. I've got it isolated to where it ain't moving. And it's got a little rubber around it. And I've just got a battery. How do I zoom that shit back out? Disadvantage of having so many cameras. Just got a battery on the ground, big 50. And that's what I'm using to start this thing with. And the stock battery, or not stock, but you know, the battery that came with the bike, it's just sitting there. I'm not using it. It's fucking junk. I've charged it 3 times. It's good for like 1 crank and then it's puked. Fuck that. I'll use a good one. But now, when I fire this, I'm not going to move the camera here for you, unfortunately. But when I fire this bike, I'm watching these slides to make sure that they move up and down properly before I put that little snorkel on there to go back to the air box. I'm watching to see how much oil is coming out of the PCVs, and I'm feeling how much is coming out of them. I'm a little bit lean, I got to adjust that later, but I'll do that on real gas. still a dirty intake valve on this one. Just run that shit through, let it clean out. And at the end process, after I've run this whole quart through, I'm going to run those carbs dry. I'm going to drain my line completely, and I'm going to throw in some fresh, good gas to fire this thing on. But the point of the video was to show you the, hey, you can use anything to test that shit. I've even got a cap off of one of these bottles, off of a regular Coke bottle. I put a fucking hose barb in, so in a pinch all I got to do is cut the bottom off the Coke bottle, stick that cap on, pour some gas in it. I haven't used that in a few months. Dig that out. Now this is your chance to see if your fuel pump's working too. I should mention that I stepped on the switch for the battery charger and shut it off the second that the bike started. Always do that. It's a lot easier on your charging system. I'm not going to adjust, I can adjust that idle up, but I'm not going to. But anyway, that gives you the general idea. I don't need to sit here. I'm going to burn the rest of this quart through. And like I say, I'll put fresh gas afterwards. It gives you a general idea. I mean, whether your fuel line's on top of your carbs there or whether it's down here, it doesn't matter. There's always a way to get gas in there without your tank so that you can set up your carbs and test them. I can reach both mixture screws. I don't have a tank in my way. I do have to put that back in. I do see that the PCV is blowing a little bit more than it should be. And that is not the oil, because that is fresh oil. So it's not its fault. Anyway, we'll holler at y'all fuckers and fuckettes later. I just figured I'd show you. There's one way to rig you up a... Yeah, there's you a test battery. There's you a test fuel supply. Alright, we'll holler at y'all fuckers and fuckettes later.